Hey there YouTube, Zach Beller YGO back with a deck profile from Locals tonight. I played the Exodia deck and I ended up going 3-1 and I got first place through some pretty lucky tiebreakers and ended up winning a Fiendsmith Engraver as my main prize, which is pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to being able to use the Fiendsmith cards in some cool decks going forward. But yeah, I played the Millennium Exodia deck. It was a lot of fun. If you've been following my socials, you'll know I'm a big fan of the Millennium cards. I've been talking about them quite a bit. If you're in the Discord, which you can always find in the links below, I've spoken about it there. And I actually just had an article go up explaining why I think these cards are so powerful and why they should definitely be given more consideration than they are. So I'll show you the deck I played tonight and discuss some of the changes I think I'll probably make going forward, because I think this is a deck I'll most likely continue to play for quite a while. It's a lot of fun. So we'll just jump right in with, of course, the 5 Exodia pieces. You have the 2 arms, the 2 legs, and the forbidden one. These cards are not very good. They are literally 5 garnets, but you gotta play them in order to utilize your Forbidden One cards, and I think basically every loss I had tonight came from just drawing too many of these, or just kind of having like those awkward hands where you had a bunch of cards that didn't really do anything. To go with that, I am of course playing a full Millennium engine. It's 3 Sengengen, Wakes from the Millennium. This, as well as the other 2 big Millennium monsters, have the same effect where you can place it in your spell and trap zone as a continuous spell from your hands, and then you can either pay 2,000 life points or reveal a Millennium Ank to special summon the monster from your spell trap zone, and then get a bonus effect. Sengengen's bonus effect is that it can search for any Millennium monster, including a copy of itself, which is important because in games 2 and 3 I do side cards like Skill Drain, so being able to have just repeated large monsters was really good. Then I did play the Shield of the Millennium Dynasty. Again, pay 2,000 to reveal Ankh, special summon, and this one searches for Ankh, which is really cool. Also, Sengengen can't be destroyed by monster effects at all, which did come up because one of my opponents tried to Ghost Ogre when I activated its effect, and they realized they couldn't, it resolved without destroying, which was really good. And then Shield of the Millennium Dynasty cannot be destroyed by spell and trap effects, which can also matter because of cards like Harpy's Feather Duster and Lightning Storm. Then I played 2 copies of Golem that guards the Millennium treasures. This one on special summon searches for Wedu Temple, which is an incredibly powerful card. Really just gets a lot of your engine going. And then I did play the 2 small Millennium monsters, one Maiden of the Millennium Moon and one Fiend Reflector of the Millennium. I didn't see them too much, so I can't really say with too much authority how I feel about them, but Maiden I did enjoy. When I did see it come up, it stopped targeting effects, which was important, and then Fiend Reflection gave me some life points back as well. They both have the same effect where that you can put them in the spell trap zone, but then their summoning condition requires the opponent to activate a card or effect, so you have a more reactive style card, which is really cool, and they provide level 4s, which is always nice. Then for the non-engine monsters, I played 3 Lava Golems. This card was huge tonight. Being able to clear Yubel fields, which was the deck I played against the most. Just to be able to pick apart, like the Yubel and the Desiree, was huge. Also being a body that can be attacked with your Exodia, the ultimate, or the fusion Exodia, the Unstoppable Exodia Incarnate, is important because unlike Sphere Mode, this can die in battle and they can take battle damage, which matters because I'm trying to OTK my opponents. I was blinding second, so that was really important. 3 Dimension Shifter, and then 3 Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood as well. These were all the hand traps I played, and I really felt like these 6 were, I think, kind of took care of everything. Ghost Sister in this deck is actually very important to have in the main deck because your life points matter so much. Like I mentioned with the Millennium cards, you are paying life points to special summon quite often, which, you know, is obviously dangerous because you can very easily die. And Ghost Sister helps to prevent that. Also, Dimension Shifter is obviously very good, and they are just free bodies, which is really helpful. And one cool thing is that in this deck, unlike others with Dimension Shifter, when you draw subsequent copies of it, that's actually totally fine because you can just place them in your spell and trap zone with Wedu Temple. I'll go into that in just a moment. Speaking of the Wedu Temple, 2 copies. This is searchable by your copies of your Golem. What Wedu Temple does is, during your main phase, you can place a monster from your hand to your spell and trap zone as a phase of continue spell, and then take a Millennium monster and place it from your deck to your spell and trap zone as well. You can only use that once per turn, and then if a face of Millennium monster or monsters you control is destroyed by battle or a card effect, you can place them in your spell and trap zone as continuous spells instead of sending to the graveyard, which means that you can keep your graveyard empty for copies of Dimension Shifter, although that didn't really come up. The cool thing was that at one point I did dead draw a Dimension Shifter, so I used Wedu Temple to place Shifter as a spell, and then used the Temple to place Sengenjen, which let me turn a dead copy of Shifter into a combo starter, basically, which is really cool. Moving on from there, we have 3 copies of Millennium Ank. This card is absolutely crazy. It's the reason why you have to play the Exodia cards. You reveal all 5 pieces to special summon your Unstoppable Exodia Incarnate from your extra deck, and then you shuffle back all your monsters that are not Exodia level 10 or Millennium monsters, and then the Ankh itself goes back into the deck as well, so you can just recycle them. I might cut it down to 2. I found actually that it was just very easily accessible, but I liked the idea of 3. A, because it's an easy side out if you really needed to, but also it's just like a free discard for cards like Phoenix and Droplet, which was really good. Then I play 3 Triple Tactics Talent. I went with a ton of board breakers, so there's 3 talents, a Change of Heart, a Snatch Steal, so I wanted to take their cards instead of just clearing their field. I wanted to take them whenever I could. And then there was 3 Forbidden Droplets, Harpy's Feather Duster, and 2 Lightning Storms. So this is why I didn't play very many hand traps, is because I have just a ton of board breakers there. Between the talents being like in the best take card because it's so flexible, you got Change of Heart and Snatch Steal, and then Droplets, which really came in handy against the full setup of the Ubel decks. And then of course your back row removal as well. And then from there we have 1 Obliterate Blaze. This card is just a crazy OTK tool. What you do is you give one of your Exodia monsters, so the fusion, the following effects. You can pay half your life points to destroy as many cards in spell and trap zones as possible, and then equip 5 Forbidden One monsters from your hand or deck to the card as equip spells that give it 2,000 attack each. So you can literally take your 5 pieces of Exodia, equip them, and then attack for 10,000 plus whatever life points you have. And that did come up. And the other effect is that if it battles a defense position monster, it inflicts piercing battle damage, which is really cool. And then I played 1 Call by the Grave as well to go with that other non-engine and Terraforming. The last 2 cards in my deck were a Angel Statue Azaroon and an Exodias of Rage. What Exodias of Rage does is it is a normal trap that you can set off the Exodia, and if you control a level 10 or higher Exodia monster, destroy all cards your opponent controls, so it is Raigeki and Harpy's Feather Duster combined, and then if it's in your graveyard except the turn it was sent there, you can banish it to either add a Forbidden One monster from your deck to or graveyard to your hand, or shuffle up to 5 Forbidden One monsters from your graveyard or banishment into the deck. And that actually did come up. One of my opponents we got to a grind game to where I had to normal summon the Exodia the Forbidden One and use it in a link summon, and then I banished Exod to put it back into the deck so I could activate Millennium Ank and OTK, which was really cool. And then the Azaroon is obviously to go with the Silu Hat Rabbit, which is a main part of the combo like your main normal combo if you can pull it off, which just ends on your Exodia, the Unstoppable Exodia Incarnate, and 2 back row, which sounds like like nothing, but it is really hard to stop if you're going first, because you have this, which is a spell trap negate, and then you have the Exodias of Rage, as well as the Azarun to negate a summon. But what the Unstoppable Exodia Incarnate does is it has 5 effects. First of all, it cannot be destroyed by card effects by your opponent, which is pretty solid. Once per turn, if it battles during damage calculation, you can make it a gain attack equal to your life points. And then if a opponent activates a spell or trap card or their effect, you can negate the activation. In the end phase, you can set a Exod or Obliterate spell or trap from your deck directly, and then during your standby phase, you lose 1,000 life points. And all of that does matter. You have to be very, conscious of your life points because of the fact that you are burning away at them between Exodia and the Millennium Monsters. Originally, I was playing 3 Exodias. I honestly never needed the third one. There was only one game where the second one even came up, but I definitely don't think I needed 3, so I was very happy with the 2 copies. And then I played a Baguska just for the couple of level 4s I had, just in case like I got shifted or something and my hand was really awkward. And then Typhon, this came up a couple times just to be like a beat stick when the game states got really simplified if I had to use a bunch of board breakers and I couldn't kill them. Then I played 1 Relinquished Anima. I think this honestly should have been Link Spider. Looking back on it, or just a Selene, because your normal summons are basically all it could even be all Mirage, honestly. Your normal summons are all basically spellcasters, but I just wanted to have removal. It never came up, except to become an SP once. Nightmare Phoenix just is a good utility card and removal, also a good discard outlet. Moon in the Closed Heaven for board breaking, IP and SP as well. Silu Hat Rabbit, and then Asta the Earth Charmer and Dark the Dark Charmer. These two Dark came up once, Asta never came up. All of these other cards I think came up like once except for the Anima. And then I played Selene, which I think should have been Nightmare Unicorn. Selene really underperformed. The idea being that, all of your Exodia pieces are spellcasters, and the ultimate Exodia in the Unstoppable Exodia Incarnate is a spellcaster, but you're not fusion summoning it, so it can't be special summoned back, which is unfortunate. And then Access Code Talker, which did come up. I used Nightmare Phoenix plus 2 opponents' monsters. I like 1 monster that I had taken for them, and one of my monsters to make Access Code Talker and pop 2 cards. And then Underworld Goddess of the Closed World, mainly to be used with Moon of the Closed Heaven. And it's just like a solid card that I try to fit into pretty much every deck if I can. The side deck was primarily to smokescreen from a going second strategy to a going first one, because I figured that my deck will present itself like Tenpai, where I'm blinding second, and then they see that I'm playing all these board breakers, so then they might want me to go first, and then I side into a bunch of going first cards, and they're just really sad. Or if it's a matchup where I feel like I want to go first, I can side out of all the board breakers and then give myself that easier game 2. So I sided 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. This was exclusively for Branded, although I did bring it in against Ubel as well. Because of the Puppet Lock, I figured between Ash Blossom, Called by the Grave, Dimension Shifter, Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood, and Forbidden Droplet, I would have enough outs to them trying to pull off the combo that they wouldn't be able to do the whole thing. Never played against Branded, so it didn't come up, but that's what that card was for. And then I sided 2 Secret Village of the Spellcasters, as well as 1 set rotation. This was to help combat evenly matched, because I can obviously just activate secret, or I can activate set rotation and give them a set card. That didn't come up, although Secret Village did come up a couple times as just a standalone card, and it was very good. I could also see playing Necro Valley because of the reliance on the graveyard, especially with all the Fiendsmith cards. And in the U-Bell matchup, not being able to access their graveyard is really detrimental. So I could see doing that. It could also even be a copy of Closed Forest in your side deck to prevent the opposing field spells. There's just a lot of options, but that's just what I went with for tonight. And then I cited one Goes in Match, one There Can Be Only one Rivalry of Warlords, 3 Skill Drain, and 3 Solemn Judgment. So while Skill Drain conflicts with my Exodia, I do like that when you side into cards like Skill Drain, cards like Sengenjen and your Golem just become giant beat sticks. And they're free if you're holding onto your Ankh, and then if the opponent tries to destroy them, they'll go back to the Spell and Trap Zone because of the Wedu Temple, and they'll come back out the next turn to be another problem. It didn't really come up all that much, but I just liked having that kind of theory behind there. I could see the side deck changing. Like, these could be D-barriers potentially. Like I said, this could be Secret Village. It could be another Secret Villages by casters. It could be Necro Valley. It could be Closed Forest. You could take out the Ashes, honestly. These 3 Floodgates didn't really perform all that well, despite playing against 2 U-Bell decks where I figured Goes in Match and There Can Be Only One would shine. They just didn't. But I'll have to see going forward. But let me know down below how you've been playing the deck and seeing success with it. I would love to know. And if you want to pick up any of the cards, use the affiliate link in the description below as well. And I look forward to hearing from all of you. Have a wonderful day.